Okay, we'll get started. If you haven't responded to the online poll, go ahead and do that. And today we will cover readr and RVest, mostly just getting your data into R. Okay. A couple other things. So we have a midterm exam next week. Okay. Pretty sure it's 1 week from today on Friday, 5th week Friday. I think that's what I put in the syllabus, and that's what we will follow. But I'm correct, right? Okay, 5th week Friday, February 8th in class. Okay, so that will be 1 week from today. Sometime this weekend I will post this is the only class I do it for, okay? I normally don't post practice exams, but I will post a practice exam for the midterm, okay? This is the only one that I do it for, and you'll get a feel for it. Of course, the actual exam will be different from the practice one, okay, of course. So don't complain and say that the actual exam was different. But you know, I wrote both the practice and I'll write the actual, and they're kind of in my opinion, going to be of a similar feel. You'll see some code presented, okay? You'll see some code presented, and your job is to tell me what R will output, okay? And so if you want to know what the answers are to the practice exam, all you have to do is you copy and paste the code from the practice exam, put it into R, and you will have your answers, okay? I think last time I posted it, someone said, what are the answers? And I had to say, well, just run the code in R and you will find out, okay? So,
are you assuming empty environment?
Yes, for all of the things you are assuming an empty environment unless I say some data set has been loaded and this is what it looks like, okay? But yes, for every problem you're assuming an empty environment.
Is it multiple questions or have to write out the output?
There are lots of questions. Each one will be like, here's a chunk of code and here's the output, okay? The exam will cover up through on 5th week, so next week on Monday, we will cover this topic called regular expressions and text processing. And so the exam will cover up through that topic. So in the practice exam, you might see a question on regular expressions and text processing. You know, right now you won't know how to answer. After Monday's lecture, you'll have the content covered, okay? So, but everything else in the exam you should be okay with. So it'll cover up through next week Monday's content, okay? We'll start other stuff on Wednesday, but that will not be covered in the exam. All right, is that okay? Okay, so for today, we are looking at readr and RVest, mostly RVest today. Let me we'll expand my screen here. I might have made some changes to this, but I'm not sure. Okay, let's all right, let's go ahead and open this up. All right. Okay, so I think you guys know how to read data into R. You probably use read.csv a lot. In R, there's also a nice little button in RStudio that allows you to import data, right? You just click this import data button, and basically it you can use base, which will use read.csv, or you can use package reader, okay? So you can just run all of these things, and RStudio will call the appropriate package, okay? So read.csv is base, okay? It does not require that you load up a package. So if you have a small data set, it's probably the quickest, okay? But I would say if your data set contains over 10,000 lines or something like that, you'll probably want to consider using a package like Reader. Okay, Readr is better suited for larger data sets. It has some programming efficiencies in there. It has things like strings as factors is turned to false by default. Other stuff like that. It will also, well, I don't know. It's got a few nice things, and so read_CSV is much faster than regular read.csv. And my recommendation is something, you know, I mean, you can use Reader the whole time. You just have to do call library reader, okay? But if you got a packet data file bigger than, you know, 10,000, I would say read CSV is the way to go. All right. There's a few other things, like there's data.table. Oh, and I should add one more. There's another package called fread, which is for fast reading of like really big things. So if you've got like a gigabyte, like if your data file, I'd say is like 500 megabytes or bigger, something like that you might encounter in DataFest or something, another package to consider is fread, F for fast. Okay. And then there's a package downloader, okay? And this allows you to download things off of the internet. It used to be a straightforward thing. There's like a download.file command, but now that almost everything opens a secure connection, the package library downloader helps navigate these HTTPS issues, okay? So yeah, nobody uses rcurl anymore, so. There's a package called Lubridate. I'm just listing off packages today, right, on these things, okay? So Lubridate it's like play on words on lubricate, but for dates. It makes working with date objects a lot easier, okay? Because so without package Lubridate, if you had dates written like this, okay? I don't know if you guys can see. If you had dates written in different formats, you had to tell R how the date would be formatted, okay? You'd have to say like, I've got the day and then %B for the month, but abbreviated, and %Y for a four-digit year, something like that. And it would translate it, okay? You can do as.date. And same thing as here, for January 15, 1999, you would have to use %B, %D, and things like this. And you'd have to format it exactly like this. If you left off the comma or you did something wrong, it would fail, okay? And so, so that was frustrating. Lubridate, oh, this thing got messed up. I should turn messages off. Just makes it a lot easier, okay? So here, I'll load up the library, and then and we'll have the dates coming in as strings, okay? So your dates come in as strings, that's what we've got here, okay? And it's very easy. All you have to do is say the information's coming in as day, month, year, right? And it will figure this out, okay? And it's really smart. And the only reason why we really have to specify month and day is because if you have like 07, 08, 08, it's ambiguous as whether it was 2007 or 2008, or whether it's July 8th or August 7th, right? Depending on which part of the world you're in. You know, 07, 08, 09 is not clear. So anyway, you just have to tell it day, month, year, month, day, year, or month, day, year, you know, whatever, and it will figure it out. It will say, oh, it looks like this. I've got it figured out. Okay, and again, this was something really, really tedious without this package. Okay, so anytime you're dealing with dates, which is quite often, I highly recommend using this package. Okay. All right. Okay, and then so today, the rest of today, we're going to talk about Arvest. Okay, Arvest is, I guess, a play on harvesting, and it's about web scraping. Okay, now a lot of times you can go out and there's like nice little data files, right? Like you can go to like Kaggle and there's data sets everywhere. Do you guys all know? You guys all know about Kaggle, right? Okay, so. Sometimes students will ask like, what should I do to help get a job? Okay, I would say look at Kaggle and do some data analyses. Okay, and do data analysis projects. But anyway, so there's nice data sets on Kaggle. Here, this is my free bit of information or advice. Is you can go on Kaggle kernels. I don't know why they call them kernels, but sort it by most votes. Okay, these will, because anybody can publish a kernel to Kaggle or one of these files, and they're not all of good quality. So, but the ones that are going to be highly voted, these are good. Okay. So anyway, you can go through any of these. A lot of them are done in Python, but a lot are also done in R. And so here is exploratory analysis on some Zillow data, and you'll see basically they've just written an R Markdown file with a lot of stuff. Okay, and so anyway, my recommendation would be to do something similar. Okay, you can see all the packages that they've used, and create your own kind of data analyses. The important thing is to explain your reasoning and the steps that you have taken, right? So when you're doing data analysis, you need to explain what you're doing, why you're doing it, and why you've made these decisions, okay? Because that's what people want to see, right? Anybody can type in commands into the console. Not everybody can think about the data properly. And so write up your report, and then you can push it to Kaggle, or if you've got a GitHub, you can publish it on GitHub. Probably on GitHub you have to publish it as a Jupyter notebook using an R kernel, and I think that's a good way to demonstrate your skills. Okay, but anyway, not everything has its nice own little data set, and you might be interested in gathering your own data, okay, from the internet. And so this might involve something that we call web scraping, right? So I'm going to do a little demonstration on, we're going to start off looking at this page, the Lego Movie page, okay? And we might want to, and they're making the Lego Movie Part 2, which I'm really excited about, and the Lego Batman movie is like one of my favorites. But anyway, it's really great. Okay, 7.3 should be like a 9.3, but anyway, you might go around and you might want to say like, okay, I want to pull information off of this website, right? So maybe we want to pull off this rating that says 7.8. Maybe we want to learn about all of the actors that appeared in the Lego movie. So we have Will Arnett and Elizabeth Banks and Craig Berry and Alison Brie, and we can click on one of the actor pages, and we'll follow the link, and we'll find out that Will Arnett is from Canada, and he's working on both the Lego Movie 2 and Lego Batman Movie 2, and he's in all of these other things, right? BoJack Horseman and stuff. And we can just kind of follow these links and gather information, okay? But we might want to do this in kind of an automated way, right? Because it would be really painful to like highlight, copy, and paste and try to like format it into some kind of Excel worksheet, okay? I don't know if anybody's ever tried to do that, right? Like you find a table on the internet and then you're like, okay, I'm going to highlight everything, hit Control-C, and then you come over here and you open up Excel, and then you're going to say, okay, let's paste this in here. and then you do it, and then it's like a nightmare, right? So this actually comes through, but then now you have links, and you're like, okay, oh, now I clicked it, and now it's opening up the page, and it's frustrating, and you're like, okay, how do I delete all the links and stuff? And somehow it copied all the pictures. I'm impressed, Excel. That's like, that must be a new thing. But you know, it copies everything, and you're just like, I just wanted the names, and it can be difficult to work with. Okay, so RVest allows us to kind of work with this type of stuff that we find on the internet, and allows us to pull information out. Okay, I do have to kind of give a disclaimer and say a lot of websites, a lot of companies now have public APIs that give you access to their thing, but depending on who it is, they might charge access to the API. Like Twitter has a free API, but then if you want like the real Twitter data, you have to order the Firehose API, which costs money. Okay, but if you're Google, you know, maybe that's something you'd pay money for. But and other things have APIs, but RVest, you know, harvesting, scraping web pages the way we look off the browser is still a useful thing to learn. Okay, so anyway, the tool that we need to use is something called Selector Gadget. Okay, and so if you click Selector Gadget, and I don't know if anybody has done any kind of writing up a web page, but you know, the way it works is underneath this, if you click View Page Source, it's just this huge mash of text and scripts and tags and all sorts of stuff. But the information is there. Like if I search for Will Arnett, okay, so some of these things appear, right? So Will Arnett in the Lego Movie, and then there's all these links and stuff. So the information is there, and the way we can try to identify this stuff is using the corresponding CSS and HTML tags. And so the Selector Gadget is this bookmark extension that you just kind of click and you drag this to your bookmark bar here, okay? And so I have it right here. And when you go to a web page, you'll click the Selector Gadget button here, and it brings up this little, I don't know, this widget on your screen, okay? And as you hover around on the page, you'll get these little orange boxes floating around, okay? And so what I want to do is, let's say I want to extract this number 7.8, okay? So this is the piece of information off of the website that I want. I just want to know, what was this movie rated? So I'm going to go ahead and click the 7.8. This little orange box appears around it. So you kind of want to find the orange box, and you click that. And as soon as I click that, it says, okay, we're going to highlight everything that has this tag span. So in the underlying code, there's these tags that say span. And when we do that, it highlights a whole bunch of stuff. It says there's 557 things that it's going to extract. And I'm like, no, I don't want that. I just want the 7.8. So I'm going to start clicking around. And so I clicked one of the yellow things, okay? And it says basically I don't want that, all right? And so now I'm at 67. I really just want the one. So I'm going to go ahead and click this because I don't want that. All right, and so now it says I'm going to get 3 things, and we see this little yellow. It's like kind of a hide and seek game now, and we're like trying to find anything yellow that I don't want. Okay, so I'm going to click this yellow thing that I don't want. Okay, and now it says you're just going to get one thing, clear one thing. So this is the combination of tags that I'm going to use. So if I say find anything that has the tag strong and span on it, it's only going to return one thing. So I'm going to just highlight this and copy that, okay? And then, and this is how it works in RVest, okay?
Where did you copy?
It's on my clipboard right now, okay? I'll show you where it goes, okay? So when you're gonna have to install package rvest, probably install these other packages here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, let me just clear out my environment right now. Okay, so I got rvest, stringer, and data table, okay? And the first thing I actually need to tell it is I need to say, read this, open up this website, okay? Read HTML, and then I just give it the URL of our page, okay? So, sorry, I should have said I do that first, okay? So I read HTML, and I'm gonna store this as an object called Lego Movie, okay? Because that's the Lego Movie page. So we're gonna start there, and it loads up the Lego Movie. You guys have all seen it, right? We can't be friends. Oh, I never wanted to. Anyway, okay, but all right. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna say, okay, take that Lego Movie page, we're gonna pipe it into this function called HTML nodes. So HTML nodes will go into the web page and extract out anything with the nodes that we have, okay? And so remember what I highlighted said strong span. Okay, I think that's on my clipboard right now. So yeah, anyway. So we say select HTML nodes, all right? And so if I just do this without piping it into the next thing, okay? Take Lego Movies and pipe it into HTML nodes, it's going to pull out that entire HTML code, okay? So somewhere in this whole source page of, okay, I don't know what happened. Okay, so somewhere on this thing, somewhere hidden in here is this exact text, okay? But I don't actually want all of this other information. I don't want item property and this and that. I just want this number 7.8, okay? So we're gonna say just pull out the text, okay? So I'm gonna take the output Lego Movie, HTML nodes, pull out the text, okay? And so it pulls out the text, and because it's a string, it's gonna be 7.8 in quotes. And if I want this as a number where I can, add it to things, we're gonna then pipe that into as numeric, okay? So I go ahead and do this, okay? And it'll give me 7.8, all right? And then the only thing about the pipes is you can't then pipe it into an object, okay? You have to use R's regular old assignment operator and say put it into the object rating, okay? Because it feels like I should just push it into some object called rating, but pipes always expect functions. So anyway, we go Lego Movie, pipe it into nodes, pull out strong span, pull out the text, convert it to numeric, and that whole thing, the result of that, will get stored into rating, okay? So I just do that, okay? And so now we can see rating is in my environment and rating is 7.8. Okay, all right, so that's great. And we can pull out not just one value, but we can pull out a bunch of things, all right? So maybe the next thing I might be interested in is I wanna get the cast, the names of the cast, okay? So I'm gonna click Selector Gadget, and I'm gonna hover, all right? And what I want is, I wanna select the name Will Arnett, okay? And sometimes Selector Gadget can be frustrating because you're hovering and it pulls, it highlights the entire, you can imagine a table cell, and sometimes you just want the text, and it might be a little bit frustrating. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna click Will Arnett's name, he's one of the actors, and then it highlights all of this stuff, right? And so again, we're gonna say, I don't want all of this other stuff in yellow, I only want the names. So I'm gonna click there, okay? And then now we're down to 16 things, and we just kind of scroll through the page, and we say, is there anything else that's yellow that's highlighted that I don't want? And ooh, I got you, all right? It actually pulls up this little advertisement to Amazon UK, and we're gonna say, I don't want that either, okay? So you kind of have to go through, and sometimes, depending on the web page, this can be a frustrating experience because as soon as you click one thing, it turns off other things and whatever. So
did it select all the cast? Because there's an option to see all cast, which hasn't been explained.
No, it does not. It only is able to pull stuff that's currently in the source code file. Okay, and so the full cast info takes you to another web page and is not available on this source file here. Okay, so anyway, this is the set of tags that we're going to use to get the names of the cast members. Okay, so I'm going to just highlight that, copy it. Okay, I think I've already put it in my script. Okay, so it says title cast TD nth child 2A, whatever that means. Okay, and so we're going to say take the Lego movie. Remember, Lego movie is the result of reading the HTML into R. We're going to say look at all of the nodes here and extract out the text. Okay, and so when I do this, and we ask, okay, what does this look like? Okay, this is what it looks like. Here's the cast. Okay, and so so probably actually we get a space in the front and a /n. /n means new line, right? And we want to kind of get rid of this. So there's a library called Stringer, which we'll learn a lot more about on Monday. But basically, what it will do, one of the functions it has is trim off the white space. Okay, so I can just do cast, pipe that into string trim. I could have just also put this right up here and have been done with it. Okay, but a lot of times you'll do something and you'll look at the results and you'll say, okay, I need to make this change and modification. So anyway, we do that and then we look at the cast and this looks good. Okay, we get Will Arnett, Elizabeth Banks, Craig Berry, Allison Brie, David Burrows, Anthony Daniels from I think, does C-3PO make an appearance in the movie? He does. Okay, look at that. All right. So, all right, and then there's other stuff. Okay, so here we've just been doing nodes and text, but for example, if you wanted to get like an image off a web page, the way you embed an image, the URL of the image shows up in the image tag with the option src. Okay, so so for example, I can do Selector Gadget, and I'm going to say I want this poster here. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that I don't want. Okay, and this was the best I can do. It says 2 things, but the other one is this. Okay, so what ends up happening is, we can say pull out this tag, title overview image widget. Okay, and if I just run this, okay, the entire tag will say something like alternative text trailer, title trailer, and then there's something called src, and this is actually the URL of the picture. Okay, so you can say I want to actually get the HTML attribute for src, the source of the image. Okay, and if I do that, then poster will have these 2 things, and this will be the actual poster for the Lego movie. Okay, and then the other one is the other picture that appears in in that page. Okay, it's the trailer preview thing. Okay, so those things are what appear on your in your browser for images. So if you want to like extract the images and do things like that, you can do that. You can then take these and then pipe it into like download.file and have it download all the files, and you can save all of the images from, I don't know what you would do, but it's an option. Okay, all right, and then there's more stuff. So here is like we could extract the text of the first review. Okay, in the first review, I promise it says okay, so anyway, all sorts of stuff talking about how this was an excellent movie. I didn't write it. Okay. All right. Let me. So that's all great as far as extracting information out of the web page. You don't have to copy and paste it into Excel and then try to work with stuff there. But this next feature of RVest, I think is so cool. Okay. What we can do is we can actually create what's called an HTML session, okay? And it's basically you are opening like a browser, okay, that you don't actually get to see, but there's like the R can run a browser, and you can tell R to not only go to a web page, but click a link and follow the web page to another page, and then pull information off of that web page. and then you can have it click a link and go to another web page and pull information off of that web page, right? So this is what I want to do, is starting on this page, okay, which we're going to create our session starting on the Lego page. What I want it to do is I'm going to have it go to each of these actors. We're going to start at Will Arnett. We're going to go to Will Arnett's page, and then we're going to go down to Will Arnett's filmography and download, figure out what movies and TV shows he's in. Okay, so we're going to pull out Lego Movie 2, Lego Batman Movie 2, Riviera, Unikitty. There's a TV series called Unikitty, and Emmett's Holiday Party. He's getting a lot of Batman work here. Okay, and then we'll also pull out this information for the year that it's coming out, 2019 and stuff. Okay. Apparently it's a good year for Lego Batman, all right? And then we'll go to Elizabeth Banks. We'll go to her page, okay? We'll go to the actor page for Elizabeth Banks, and then we're gonna pull out, you know, the movies and TV shows she's working on. Signal Hill, Charlie's Angels, Brightburn, Lego Movie 2, Emmett's Holiday Party, Happy Time Murders, all of this stuff, okay? And also pull out this. And so because each of these pages are similar to each other, we can expect this information to kind of like the HTML tags to work. So so the way we're going to do this is we create something called an HTML session, okay? And so we say HTML session. This opens basically a browser session, and I'm going to just put this into object S, okay? And then basically I'm going to tell it, within this S, we're going to do something called follow link, okay? And so let me just kind of demonstrate how this works. Is I create an HTML session right here. Okay. So S is a session that is currently open at the Lego Movie webpage, okay? Status 200 means everything's normal. Status 404 is like file not found type of thing, okay? Status 200 basically means everything's normal. And then what we're gonna tell Arvest is we're gonna say follow a link that says Will Arnett, okay? So on the Lego page, you know, there's all these links and they all have little text things, right? And we're gonna say follow the link that says Will Arnett, okay? And so it's gonna click this. Now, if there's multiple links on the page that says Will Arnett, it's only going to follow the first one. It's only going to find the first one, okay? And so if you need to like get the second one that says Will Arnett, then you have to say like, then it gets a lot worse. You have to say like, follow the 85th link on the page or something like that, okay? And it can only follow the first instance of the thing, okay? So we're going to say follow the link there, and if I do that, then it will return a new session at Will Arnett's page, and we'll say 200, okay? And so what I will do then is I'm going to say, take that session and read the HTML, okay? And then it extracts all the HTML, okay? And we could say, you know, let's look at, store that into Will page. And so Will page is this. And then now that I have Will's page, okay, then I can do stuff like pull out the all of the names of his movies. So we can do Selector Gadget, and we're going to say, I want to know, like, what are all the things you're working on? This is too much. I don't want any of this stuff over here, okay? And but I do want like this. I don't want this. Okay, so you kind of click around, and then you highlight, and you look through, and you go, okay, there's a lot of stuff, but you're looking for anything yellow that you don't want. And so far it looks like, okay, this looks pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just copy the attributes B and A. Those are the only those are the attributes that we use to get out the names of the movies. And we can do something like from Will page, we want to extract out HTML nodes, right? Using B and A, okay? And it pulls out all of those things. And from there, we want the HTML text, okay? and it pulls out the text of those things, which is what we want. Okay, so this is basically his filmography pulled out from there. If we want the years, okay, basically I did the same thing, following for years, and I said, basically from Will's page, go to get these things, pull out the text, and here I did string extract because some of these things have dates like 2014 to 2018, and maybe I just want the first 4, okay? So here I'm going to just pull out the first 4 digits, 2014, okay? And so you'll learn regular expressions on Monday, but this is the regular expression. We're going to say you want the digits 0 through 9, and you want 4 of them, okay? So that's going to pull out like 2014. And so this will pull out the years from that thing. And then lastly, because we're going to do this for a bunch of different actors, I kind of want to keep track of who the actor is in the table. So we're gonna do this. Okay, so I'm gonna comment this out. So here I've got a session currently open at the Lego movie page. I'm gonna create an empty list called cast_movies. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say for actor name in cast 1 through 4. So, because currently we already have a list called cast, and this is kind of the actors that we extracted already from the Lego Movies page. And we're going to say for each actor name, so because you can give it any kind of vector, we're going to say for the first one, we're going to pull out Will Arnett, okay? And we're going to follow the link that says Will Arnett, read in that HTML, okay? And that will be called actor page. And then what we're going to do is from the actor page, pull out nodes BA, which is the titles, pull out the text, and we'll just take the first 10, okay? And we're going to store that into, what will this do? Where is this going? So cast movies is an empty list. So this is going to create what?
4 parts of this.
So it's going to create, basically, this is going to be inside this first train car, all right? So we've got an basically empty train setup right now. And so for each actor is going to get their own train car, okay? And then within that train car, $movies, I'm going to create a little train in there, okay? That will have a car for movies, a car for years, and a car for name, okay? So each actor will get their own train car, and within their train car, they get another list, a little train of 3 with the names of movies, the years, and the actor's name here repeated 10 times. Okay? And we're going to do this for the first 4 actors in our cast list. Okay? And and so we can automate this. We can say, just starting at the Lego thing, follow the link for Will Arnett. Pull out all of this information and store it in the cast movies list. Okay. Then again, starting at the Lego movie page, then follow the link for Elizabeth Banks. Pull out all of this information, store it back in the cast movies page. Then follow the link for the next person. Okay. And so so I go ahead and I do this, and it says it's navigating. Oops. Did I do something? Oh. Actor _ name. Okay. I might have to correct the code that I've posted online. Okay, so it follows that, it pulls the information out, and it's done, okay? And so if we ask for the structure of cast movies, what will we have? A list of 4, okay?
Each one of them is
Yeah, so we have a list of 4, and each of those is a list of 3, okay? So we have a list, the first thing is Will Arnett, which is a list of 3 with movies, years, and name. Then we have Elizabeth Banks with a list of 3 with movies, years, name. Then Craig Berry, a list of 3 with movie's year's name and so on and so forth, okay? And so this kind of automated the process of following a link, pulling information out, and whatnot. And I think that's pretty cool, right? Okay, and so if we just ask, you know, what was the first element in that list, then it's Will Arnett's list, which is a list of 3, okay? And it pulls all of this stuff out, okay? We've got Lego Movie 2, Lego Batman Movie 2, Riviera, Unikitty, Emmett's Holiday Party, all of this, okay? And then the last thing is there's a function called rbindList, which is from data.table, and it allows us to kind of convert these specially formatted lists of lists into a big data frame, okay? And so if I just call this df, all right, and I expand this, so. So then you can see kind of, this is just table, kind of the first 10 results of every single person, right? And it kind of did everything, it binded them all together, and so on and so forth. And so I think, I don't know, I think this is pretty cool, okay? In that you can tell R to you know, follow the links itself and extract out all of the pages, okay? And so I guess I have to I'll post this this corrected code onto a CCLE, and so in your homework you'll have an assignment where I have you guys go to baseball reference, okay, and you'll kind of follow starting at the teams page, which lists off all, there's currently 30 teams in Major League Baseball. Okay, you're going to follow each one, and okay, my web browser's stuck. But you'll follow each page, okay? So you maybe, like, here's like the New York Mets page, and you'll go and you'll extract out their franchise history, okay? And you pull out all of this information, and you can get, like, you know, the wins and losses and how many games they played and so on and so forth, okay? Okay. And so this will be kind of just a brief introduction to some of the, you know, web scraping that you can do with R, all right? And, you know, of course, other languages are capable of web scraping. Python, notably, you know, has scrapey and things like that. But you know, right now we're doing stuff in R, and I think this is a good intro to the topic. Okay, are there any questions? All right, we'll end here for now. We'll see you guys on Monday, and we'll see you then. Have a good weekend.